creatine side effects, magnesium glycinate side effects, protein powder side effects. If you are stacking all three for muscle growth, testosterone support, strength gains, or better sleep, you need to hear this before you keep taking them. Because combining creatine monohydrate, magnesium glycinate, and a high-protein diet changes your kidney markers, your hormones, your digestion, your blood pressure, and even your heart rhythm in ways most supplement companies never explain. In this video, I am breaking down whether creatine causes kidney damage, how magnesium affects testosterone and sleep, what high protein does to your kidneys and heart, and the real risks and benefits of this supplement stack, backed by current research. Stay with me, because the most important side effect is not the one everyone talks about. And comment active below if you want my free 30-day workout plan. What is actually happening inside your body when these three combine? The biochemistry nobody explains. Most people treat these three supplements like three separate tools doing three separate jobs. Creatine for energy and muscle. Magnesium glycinate for sleep and recovery. Protein for muscle building and repair. Stack them together, shake them up, drink them down, done. That thinking is not just incomplete. It is costing you results and potentially creating problems you have not connected to your supplements yet. Let us start at the foundation because everything else in this video builds on this. Your body is not a storage unit where supplements sit in separate compartments doing isolated jobs. It is a dynamic biochemical environment where every compound you introduce influences every other compound already present. When you introduce creatine, magnesium glycinate, and high-dose protein simultaneously, you are triggering a cascade of interactions at the cellular, hormonal, and metabolic level that most supplement guides never address. Here is the first thing that will surprise you. All three of these supplements share overlapping amino acid pathways. Creatine is synthesized from glycine, arginine, and methionine. Magnesium glycinate delivers glycine directly. High protein intake, particularly animal protein, delivers arginine and methionine in abundance. So when you take all three together, you are flooding the same amino acid supply chain from three different directions simultaneously. This sounds beneficial, and largely it is, but it creates a metabolic competition and a methylation demand that has real consequences we are going to discuss shortly. Now here is something even more interesting that almost nobody talks about. The enzyme responsible for converting creatine into its active form phosphocreatine, creatine kinase, is magnesium dependent. We covered this in a previous video, but here is the extension of that fact that most people miss entirely. High protein intake, particularly protein high in branched-chain amino acids like whey, increases insulin like growth factor 1, which upregulates protein synthesis pathways that also compete for the same magnesium pool. In other words, your high protein intake and your creatine conversion are competing for the same magnesium resource. If your magnesium glycinate dose is insufficient, one of those processes loses, and it is usually the process you care about most. This is why people on high-protein diets who add creatine without adequate magnesium often report plateau effects. They are protein synthesizing aggressively, but energy conversion is running below capacity because the magnesium cofactor is spread too thin. The solution is not complicated, but it requires understanding the interaction first. And now you do. There is another layer here that connects all three supplements at the methylation level. And this is the rare biochemistry that nobody in the fitness supplement space is talking about clearly. Creatine synthesis is one of the largest consumers of methyl groups in the entire human body. Methylation is a biochemical process where a methyl group, 1 carbon and 3 hydrogen atoms, is transferred between molecules. It governs gene expression, neurotransmitter production, cardiovascular health, and detoxification. Your body uses a compound called SAMe, S-adenosylmethionine, to donate methyl groups for creatine synthesis. When you supplement with creatine, you reduce the methylation demand on your body because you are supplying creatine externally rather than making it. This frees up methyl groups for other critical processes, including serotonin and dopamine synthesis, DNA repair, and cardiovascular protection. This is one of the most underappreciated benefits of creatine supplementation, and it connects directly to your protein intake because methionine, the amino acid abundant in animal protein, is the primary methyl donor in this pathway. High protein intake combined with creatine supplementation creates a methylation optimization that supports brain chemistry, mood, and cardiovascular health simultaneously. That is not a small thing. That is a profound systemic benefit most people taking this stack have no idea they are receiving. But, and there is always a but in biochemistry, excess methionine from very high protein intake without sufficient B vitamins, particularly B12, B6, and folate, can elevate homocysteine, a cardiovascular risk marker. We will return to this because it matters significantly. The creatine I personally use is linked in the description below. I am particular about purity and sourcing. This one earns it. Go check it out. The real side effects. What is genuine? What is exaggerated? And what deserves your attention? Kidney load. Creatine raises serum creatinine, the metabolic byproduct of creatine breakdown. High protein independently increases glomerular filtration rate, the volume of blood your kidneys filter per minute. Together on routine blood work, this combination can look alarming. Here is what most people do not know. There is a superior kidney function test called cystatin C that is not influenced by muscle mass or creatine supplementation. If your creatinine is elevated but your cystatin C is normal, your kidneys are fine. Ask your doctor specifically for this test. Most panels do not include it automatically. Now you know to ask. For healthy kidneys, this stack is safe. But hydration becomes non-negotiable. Creatine pulls water into muscle cells. High protein increases urea production, requiring water for excretion. Magnesium has a mild osmotic effect. All three are making simultaneous demands on your body water. 3 liters minimum per day. Non-negotiable. Digestive upset. High protein slows gut transit time. Magnesium glycinate has a mild laxative effect. These two working simultaneously create unpredictable bowel behavior in the first 2 to 3 weeks for some people. The fix is simple. Do not take magnesium glycinate with your largest protein meal. Give them at least 90 minutes of separation. Your gut stabilizes and your magnesium absorption actually improves because large protein loads compete with magnesium at the intestinal transporter level. Homocysteine elevation. This is the silent one. High protein intake from methionine-rich sources combined with the methylation demands of creatine synthesis produces homocysteine as a metabolic byproduct. Without adequate B vitamins, specifically B12, B6, and folate, homocysteine accumulates. Elevated homocysteine is an independent risk factor for cardiovascular disease, stroke, and cognitive decline. Add a methylated B complex to this stack. Methylcobalamin, methylfolate, and pyridoxal 5-phosphate, the active forms that bypass conversion problems affecting approximately 40% of the population with the MTHFR gene variant. Get your homocysteine tested. Optimal is below 7 micromoles per liter. Sleep changes. Magnesium glycinate improves sleep depth through glycine receptor activation. Creatine supports brain energy during sleep. But high protein eaten close to bedtime raises core body temperature through thermogenesis, which directly delays sleep onset. Eat your last large protein meal at least 2 hours before bed. Take magnesium glycinate 90 minutes before sleep. That sequencing is the difference between average sleep and genuinely restorative sleep. Stay with me. The hormone section is coming, and it is the part 1 almost cut from this video. You need to hear it. The hormone connection, testosterone, DHT, estrogen, and cortisol. All 3 supplements in this stack influence your hormonal environment. Not mildly, measurably. Here is the honest, complete picture. Testosterone. Magnesium reduces sex hormone binding globulin activity, freeing more testosterone into its active usable form. High protein provides the cholesterol precursors and amino acids that testosterone synthesis in the testes requires. Creatine supports the energy demands of testicular tissue where phosphocreatine is stored and used. All 3 are independently supportive of testosterone production through different pathways. That is genuinely good news. DHT. The research on creatine and DHT remains mixed. The 2009 Stellenbosch study suggested elevation, but subsequent research has not consistently replicated it. What is less discussed is that high protein intake independently upregulates insulin like growth factor 1 signaling, which can increase 5-alpha reductase activity, the enzyme converting testosterone to DHT. Creatine and high protein may both influence DHT through separate pathways simultaneously. More androgenic activity means better muscle density and drive. It also means more sensitivity in the prostate and scalp hair follicles for those predisposed. Know your family history. Monitor your blood work. Estrogen. Here is something most male supplement users never consider. Conventional whey protein from non-grass-fed sources can contain residual bovine hormones and estrogen precursors depending on processing standards. Very high protein intake also burdens the liver, the primary organ responsible for clearing excess estrogen. A burdened liver clears estrogen less efficiently. If you are experiencing unexplained midsection water retention, mood sensitivity, or reduced libido, your protein source quality and total protein load are worth examining before anything else. Cortisol. Magnesium glycinate measurably reduces baseline cortisol in deficient individuals. Creatine reduces the energetic stress signal during intense training. Both are cortisol protective. However, excessive protein intake beyond what your body can actually synthesize into muscle, roughly 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, generates a metabolic acid load and deamination burden that creates a low-grade physiological stress response. More protein is not always better. Precision beats excess every time. Final verdict: correct dosing, smart timing. And is this stack worth it? This triple stack done correctly is one of the most comprehensively beneficial supplement combinations available. Done carelessly, it creates compounding metabolic burdens that accumulate silently. The difference is knowledge. You now have it. Creatine monohydrate, 3 to 5 grams daily for individuals under 180 pounds. 5 to 10 grams for larger individuals or those prioritizing cognitive benefits alongside physical performance. Body weight adjusted dosing of 0.03 to 0.08 grams per kilogram gives more individualized results than a blanket recommendation. Take daily with a carbohydrate-containing meal. No loading phase necessary. No cycling necessary. Magnesium glycinate, 300 to 400 milligrams daily split into 2 doses. 150 to 200 milligrams in the morning with food. 150 to 200 milligrams 90 minutes before sleep. Never with your largest protein meal. Give 90 minutes separation minimum. Protein, 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight daily. Prioritize whole food sources. Use supplements to bridge gaps, not as primary sources. Choose grass-fed whey isolate over conventional concentrate. Last large protein meal at least 2 hours before sleep. Non-negotiable additions. Methylated B complex daily to protect homocysteine levels. 3 liters of water minimum per day. Baseline blood panel before starting. Testosterone, free testosterone, homocysteine, creatinine, and cystatin C. Recheck at 3 months. This stack improves muscle performance, cognitive function, sleep quality, hormonal health, and healthy aging when sequenced correctly. The supplements are not the variable. The knowledge is. And now you have it. The creatine I use personally is linked in the description. Go check it out. Come active right now for my completely free 30-day workout plan. No email list. No cost. Just real programming because your health genuinely matters. You stayed the whole way. That tells me you were serious. Serious people get serious results. See you in the next one.